Welcome to Ravens Over. Please subscribe to my channel, also the notification bell, like this video and share. I want to come to you with a story about Sage Smith. She was only 19 years old. Now the story is conflicting because it went out as she being gender fluid, and also the story went out as being a transgender woman. Also, they have not found the body, but they are speculating that it was a homicide. And I want to share the story with you about her life and living and get you more as far as the public help. Welcome to
Hey, what's up? How you doing? How you been? What's going on? What's good? Are you getting it in? Somebody getting it for you? What's going on, people? Subscribe to my channel.
Okay, I'm gonna need y'all to work with me here because there's a lot of conflicting results and a lot of websites that stand a lot of different things. Now, this story has been reported as of July the 3rd, 2019. Now, the statement detectives read that the dad's statement about the daughter, Sage Smith, that the police don't care. Now, every couple of years, the mainstream news reminds unsolved 2012 murders of a transgender teen, Sage Smith. And every couple of years, we are engaged with that Erik McFadden, the person of interest, remained free. This year is a late investigation reads that the father's statement saying that the department doesn't care because she was a black transgender woman. Now, Smith was last seen on a Tuesday, November the 20th. Smith had a phone contact with Erik McFadden on the day and then told friends that she was going to meet with someone at West Main Street. She was last seen and short time later on the 500 block of West Main Street. Smith has not been seen or heard since she met with Erik McFadden, allegedly, who at the time were living in the 14th Street of Northwest. Confirmed investigators that he did not have phone contact with Smith and planned to meet with her on Tuesday near the Amtrak station on West Main Street. McFadden, while in police custody, stated that the meeting never took place. He was later released. Police at the time named him as a person of interest, but said that they had no reason to believe that McFadden had left the area. McFadden said that in a text to a friend, he did meet with Sage Smith. But police dropped McFadden in 2017 as a person of interest based on the text records from his friend. Erik McFadden was last seen 7 years ago, was just declared by the police as a missing and again a person of interest. What was actually changed in the make the police suspect McFadden again, and now police say they believe that McFadden is in that area. Is this just smoke and mirrors to replace relatives' increasingly vocal public? Now, the police investigation publicly condemned a statement written in the file and read that by the lead detectives. I believe that there wasn't any equality in the investigation due to the facts that 1, my child is black, 2, my child is a transgender. Now, I want to share with you more information about another website that I found in reference to more information reference to this case. Now, this story is being reported as of June 27, 2019. Virginia police asked for public health in locating Erik McFadden, a person of interest, and a homicide of a transgender woman, Sage Smith. Now, once again, they said homicide, which means that there was a body. There has not been a body, as far as the records of everything accurate, of Sage Smith, and they're trying to find out, where the body is at. But in this article, is stating that there's a homicide. Now, the Charlottesville Police Department is asking for the help of the public in locating Erik McFadden, 28 years old, who police have identified as a critical person in the interest of unsolved homicide of Sage Smith. McFadden has previously been identified as a person of interest in the case, but his whereabouts remain unknown. In the press conference on Thursday, police announced that they have filed a missing person report for him as requested by the mother. Detectives continue to believe that McFadden was the last person to be seen Smith, and that he was information that viral, and that he had the information that went viral in this case. Now, Charlottesville Police Captain Jim Mooney said that on Thursday press conference, Sage Smith's family gave emotional statement that called McFadden to turn himself in. Our hearts are hurting. Our hearts are heavy with pain as we long for answers and justice for a loved one. Edna Langston, Sage's younger sister, said that Sage's mother, Latasha Dennis, asked that we are focused on the fact that Sage is missing. Now remember, they're saying homicide. Now the mother's stating on the fact that Sage is missing. As Dateline has previously reported, Sage Smith, 19 years old at the time, was last seen around 6:30 p.m. on November the 20th, 2012, near the Amtrak station in Charlottesville, Virginia. According to police, McFadden and Sage were planning to meet that evening, but he later told authorities that the meeting never took place. Now, police said on Thursday that the detectives made brief contact with McFadden immediately after Smith disappearance, but failed to show up for the scheduled interview with the police and reportedly left town. McFadden has not yet been seen or heard from since. Detectives believe that he may have traveled to various cities as far as Maryland, South Carolina, Georgia, or New York as a well-known location in the West Coast. Now, in November 2012, Sage, who's given anyway, came out as transgender as a woman, changed her name to female on Facebook. I'm a girl now, respected, she had wrote on Facebook post, according to the grandmother Lolita Smith. Now, she was happy. Lolita told Dateline on December 2018. Sage mother Natasha Dennis said on Thursday she doesn't want her child's gender identification to cloud the case, saying that the fact remains that my child is missing and that to me that matters. Sage case is initially classified as a missing person case, but the police reclassified as a homicide case in November 2016. According to the Mooney's local and federal agency has spent countless months and hours sorting through evidence, interviews with witnesses, statements. Despite their efforts, the case still remains unsolved. It has been nearly 7 years since Smith disappeared from the Charlotte Police Department. It's hopefully that with turn up media continue to do public interest, we finally resolved this case to bring closure to the family, so we can finally bring closure to the family in the community that has experienced anguish over the loss of a family member. Now, a family and the members of the LGBTQ community, Mooney said on Thursday that Sage Smith decides as being 5'11". She's 5'11". She's weighing about 130 pounds. She was last seen wearing a black jacket, gray sweatpants, and a black scarf and gray boots. There is a $20,000 reward being offered for the information that leads to Sage finding remains in the arrest her case. If anyone information that could help what happened to Sage whereabouts, McFadden police contact detectives Regine White at 434-970-3381. That's 434-970-3381. Or Crime Stoppers at 434-977-4000. Okay. Now those are the conflicting websites that I went through and I looked at. Now I want to share something with you in reference to what I found on the media. Check this out.
We want to shine a spotlight on the families who far too often feel that they have been ignored. Our Steve Insomnia kicks off our series Vanished with one case. Sage Smith's family has been desperate for answers but received very little help. They were stunned when a young woman in their town went missing and watched as they felt like the entire community showed up to search.
Please look, this is the face of someone who has vanished, and for reasons beyond their family's control, you may not have heard this story on the news or in the papers. Sage Smith was born a boy, and to put a finer point on it, a black boy, who according to his family is gender fluid.
The first thing we think of is his smile. He had like the biggest, brightest smile.
Deshaun, as they call him at home, mysteriously disappeared from Charlottesville, Virginia in November of 2012. Smith's family says that no one in the press, in law enforcement, or the community really cared at the time because their child was different.
It took a long time. It was a while before it actually was on the news, the local news.
Not on the first day?
No.
Not on the second day?
No. it was quite some time. I remember calling down there and asking when is it going to be on there.
It was Tuesday, November 20th, just 19 years old, and the last time anyone saw Smith alive. Witnesses remember seeing a pretty smile buried deep into a cell phone. Sage Smith was meeting someone that night, a friend, possibly a date according to a roommate, and was seen at this cafe on Main Street. They were supposed to be meeting here in front of this train station, but the young man Sage was connecting with says that meeting never happened. Latasha Dennis and her two oldest daughters tell a familiar story that's shared too often from families of color. When their loved ones go missing, police are slow to respond. How many calls would you say you had, or conversations you think you had to have with the police before you were taken seriously?
I remember, they coming out and talking to me and coming to my job, taking down information and stuff. But yeah, I don't feel like we got that much from it.
I mean, yeah, even initially it didn't really feel like full involvement from the police.
At the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Director Robert Lowery told us that roughly 800,000 Americans go missing each year. What percentage of those are African American or of color?
About 60% of the reports that we see here in the U.S. that go into those databases.
More than half.
Well over half. It really breaks a lot of commonly held thought on who are really the missing children in the U.S.
The numbers show that missing Black Americans are disproportionately represented. In 2018, more than 30% of all missing persons were Black Americans, despite making up just 13% of the total U.S. population. But only around a fifth of those cases are followed by the news. Smith was last seen here on the 500 block of Main Street here in Charlottesville, wearing a black jacket, dark gray sweatpants, and black boots. The family has canvassed this street many times with photos and flyers, but all they ever find is a dead end. When the family put together a search of their own, there were no cameras, no police, and they say few people showed.
I remember reaching out to a church, local church here, and asked the pastor to help me organize a search. We kind of put it out there for the community to help us, and some people showed up.
Not a lot. Less than 2 years later, they witnessed how much the world could care.
Now to that new twist in the disappearance of UVA student Hannah Graham.
18-year-old Hannah Graham went missing from these same city streets. It was front page and top of the hour news. And guess who flew into Virginia, joining the wave of reporters and news trucks following the investigation? Her parents live in suburban D.C. This story has taken a strange turn. The police say they're still searching for Hannah Graham. This same network news correspondent telling you this story now. Smith's sister tells me she was working at an ice cream shop when police and volunteers came searching for Hannah Graham.
I worked downtown during the time at Chap's Ice Cream, and I remember actually seeing everyone looking around. I remember them coming to my job and asking for the surveillance tape. Actually, maybe they had thousands of people looking for Hannah Graham, and it was just really mad about it. And even people at my job were like, "Oh my God," I'm like, where was this energy in 2012?
The disappearance of Hannah Graham came to a sad ending. This man was arrested and convicted of killing her. Sage Smith's family says they do not diminish in any way the depth of this tragedy. They tell us a new police detective assigned to their case has worked hard to keep them updated on the investigation, and they don't want this interview to spoil that relationship. We tried to talk with Charlottesville police, but they declined our request for an interview. They did share this on an episode of Disappeared, seen on Investigation Discovery, explaining the difference in the response between the two cases.
Why did 1,000 media trucks show up for Hannah Graham and only a few for Sage's case? That's a societal problem that we have. A lot of people need to ask those questions, why these cases were treated differently.
We also talked with Zakia McKenzie, who runs a foundation that helps meet the medical and legal needs of gay, gender fluid, and trans Virginians, many of them of color. She says she knows all too well the answers to those questions.
So I told you what we're talking about with missing people, and in particular missing people of color. and you know about Sage's story. What are your thoughts on all of this?
I think it's really strange how individuals can just come up missing, and especially when we think about trans people of color, because there's so much that's going on in our world right now affecting us and all of the murders. But it just baffles me how someone can just like disappear, vanish, no trace, no anything.
Sage's gender identity, how do you think that works into all of this?
People don't understand trans people or gender fluid people. Some people have the mentality that, we put ourselves in certain situations and these things happen because of who we are. The part that it plays is that they don't prioritize investigating it. I think because of privilege and bias.
The search for Sage Smith, now 27, has police looking for this young man, Erik McFadden, who would now be 28. Police believe he was the one meeting Smith that cold night in November. They say he, too, has now disappeared, and they're calling him a person of interest.
We have made a plea today to find Erik McFadden. We would like to talk to him. He has information vital to this case. As you can see, we have a family that's hurting. And we hope he sees this and he does the right thing.
The fact remains that my child is missing, and that to me is all that matters. I am in a situation where I cannot grieve, and I just need closure.
The family says they can't agree on whether they should hold out hope that Smith is still alive, but they tell us that anyone seeing this photo should know this is a person who is terribly missed and deeply loved.
You could just be watching something on TV and you could wish he would just walk in right now. Personally, I feel that that he's no longer with me. Because there's no way that he would not be here.
And I was talking to you guys earlier about how important this is to me. I've been understanding why it is that I find it so important, and that is that what's been happening to date with families like yours who don't get the police attention, don't get the media attention, we have to work double hard, have to be your own grief counselor and at the same time conduct your own searches, have to be the one to do all the flyers and at the same time keep yourself together. What is bothering me the most about it is that what it is saying to me, our current situation, is that this life just isn't as important as others.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't get with that.
It feels as if you're like kind of begging people to care about it.
Does it feel like you're getting more help from both people like me and the police late?
Definitely. If we had coverage in the beginning, that it could have went different. After time, people forget things, and life is busy, so people have other things to think about. So that little small thing could have helped the case.
For ABC News Live, I'm Steve Osunsani in Charlottesville, Virginia.
And Steve Osunsani joins us now. Steve, you reported those startling numbers. Black Americans make up 13% of the population, but 30% of all missing cases. Transgender Black Americans are particularly at risk. First of all, I feel like I owe you a thank you for shining light, Steve, because that's so important. And I'm just curious. I mean, we heard from the sister there saying it feels like you're begging to get attention, begging for somebody to care, basically. And so we appreciate you for doing that. But does it seem like it's getting any better, that other people are starting to notice, like when Black and brown people go missing, that we need to start reporting it, we need to start paying attention?
I think it's getting a little better because of efforts like this one, people like you and I telling these stories. There's also the Black and Missing Foundation, which is an online effort. It's a group of two women in DC who have started this foundation, who have decided to pursue these stories. And as more of us speak about this and point out this disparity, I think some of these cases are now starting to get just a little bit more attention, and importantly, more investigators investigative work from authorities.
And we saw there in the report that the police declined to go on camera with you, but have we ever gotten any kind of tips or leads or any kind of information from police about Sage?
So most of the information we're getting from the police is coming through the family, and they tell us that some tips have come in, but nothing concrete, nothing that, of course, has led to any discovery of Sage that the family has gotten so far. But one thing we have to underline here, and this is often the case in so many of these cases, the police really didn't get involved in this case. The investigation didn't really take off until long after the fact. And that's really what's unfortunate. And it's those first few hours and days after a person disappears where you have the most success of getting the best tips that lead to a resolution. And that unfortunately didn't happen here. But this family is hoping that in telling their story, that this improves the situation for other Black families across the country who are looking for missing loved ones.
Okay, his name was Erik McFadden. Now, the thing about him, the reason why he's a person of interest is because allegedly he lied and said he didn't see her, but he texted a friend saying that he did see her and he was basically with her. And so, due to the fact that he shared this with someone else, they basically contacted the police to let them know that he had seen her, he was with her, but all of a sudden now he's become missing. They can't find him, so we can get a look at all his different looks in case you see him, where his whereabouts and stuff. He has a lot of different looks and stuff like that. He's basically missing. He's in hiding. He's been in hiding for years. So let's bring him to justice to find out the truth. And the thing about it is that, once again, here is a man, basically, I'm surprised when he heard the story, he didn't know what she was. But clearly he knew what was up, and then all of a sudden she becomes missing. But then he said he didn't ever see her in the first place. Also, I want to share some more information with you in regards to this girl's being missing. They still haven't found the body yet, so it's saying homicide, but I want to share this through with you, more information I found in reference to this girl. Check this out.
For a man tied to an unsolved murder of a transgender teenager almost 7 years ago in Virginia.
Yeah, they believe he could be hiding out in Baltimore or in Joppa, WJZ City Police Headquarters, with this murder mystery.
The victim's name in this case is Sage Smith. Police say the man she was supposed to meet the night she disappeared may be in our area. Sage Smith was 19 when she vanished in 2012, last seen on Main Street in Charlottesville, Virginia. Police say she was meeting Erik McFadden. This week, police officially listed McFadden as missing. They say he's a person of interest in Smith's killing and that he's not been seen since failing to show up to answer detectives' questions shortly after the killing.
This is a loss that is different from other losses because there's no closure. It's like you can't finish grief. This unfixed feeling that hits me at unpredictable times. All of the thoughts that run through my mind. The why, the how, the who.
The month she vanished, Sage officially changed her gender to female on Facebook. In a statement read by the lead detective investigating the murder, Smith's father blasted the lack of progress in the investigation.
I believe that there wasn't any equality in the investigation due to these facts. 1, my child is Black. 2, my child is transgender. The mission is now to find my child and bring Sage home. Sage, if you can see or hear this, just know we haven't given up on you.
McFadden, the person of interest, used to live in Joppa. Authorities say he has strong ties to the Baltimore area. They're hoping now they can find him and unlock the mystery of what really happened to Sage Smith.
The main focus just needs to stay on him. Getting Erik McFadden here so we can ask questions.
According to the Human Rights Campaign, 11 transgender people have been murdered across the United States this year alone, 2 of them here in Maryland. At Baltimore City Police Headquarters, Mike...
Okay, her name was Sage, or her name is Sage Smith. And she was only 19 years old when she went missing. Now, it's been 8 years since she has been missing. And the family, in my prayers, they have a reward of $20,000. The thing is that they haven't found the body to say that she's dead. So we shouldn't claim that she's dead. We shouldn't say homicide. We should just say missing. Because there's no body. So, my personal opinion, let's not claim the dark side. Let's keep hope alive and thinking that maybe she'll come out of it. Now this guy right here, we don't know Erik McFadden. I don't know what he has, his whereabouts, his secrets and stuff. But unfortunately, he's not sharing enough information. If everything is accurate as far as this girl's life and living, he stated that he did see her. Then he said he didn't see her when the cops was there, which means that he has something to hide. Unfortunately, we don't have a body, and the family in my prayers and stuff. Very young girl, 5'11", only 19 years old, living her truth and cannot be found. This has been going as far as 8 years, of becoming like a cold case, which means that they kind of start to lose hope and stuff. So as a two-spirit woman, I feel as though we have to be the soldiers for our sisters. When our sisters go missing, I want you to share this video every way you can. You have to be the voice for our sisters. You have to be the soldier for our sisters. We cannot put RIP. We can't say homicide. We're not going to claim that. We're going to fight and try to find our sisters, where she's at, where she could possibly be, whether she's missing, whether she just want to be bothered. We have to send messages out to let you know we are looking for you, sis. And basically, I put both up as far as in her transition and even out of her transition, because simple fact of the matter is that I feel like we need to look for her in both. And the thing is, we're not sure actively where she could possibly be. All we do know, our sister is missing. We do know her family is looking for her. Her name is Sage Smith. So share this video where you can. We have to fight for our sister, to let her know that she's loved and she's needed. And her sisters is out here looking for her actively. Even if she's in danger, let us know where you at. Even if you just feel as though you just don't want to be bothered, let us know where you're at. We can't say homicide, my personal opinion, because you're claiming a death. Homicide means that there's a dead body. Now, there's nothing, if everything is accurate, it has not been stated that she's dead. So, it's conflicting reports, because one says she was gender fluid, which means that she don't confirm to either gender. That means she does not identify male or female. She identifies as gender fluid. Now what's going out is reference to she's now female, she transitioned, she identifies as female. So like I said before, it's conflicting results. And I kind of think that when it comes to the LGBTQ, this is where the problem remains. Because a lot of times people don't really know how to identify us. You know, you say one thing, you say another thing, we don't know. We need her to tell her story. We cannot get this from her. We only could go by what the media is putting out there as far as news reports and stuff like that. But we do know one thing, this girl still is missing. It has been 8 years since 2012. Now, Erik may have a lot of information, so I gave you a lot of different looks. You have seen this guy. Let you know we're looking for you, Erik. If you know any information about this girl, you need to come in. You need to share your side of the story. You need to come to justice, because we are looking for our sisters, and now we're looking for you. So as the social media sisters and my warriors out there that we fight for our sisters, we need to look for Erik too. So make sure you study this man's face. If you see him anywhere, any around, make sure you study his face, because we're looking for you. You cannot mess with one of us and you get away with it. So make sure you keep his face in mind, especially my two spirits, because he's out there looking. Subscribe to my channel this way if I get any updates. I'm going to let you know. At the top there's the Instagram button. Let you know I love you. And thank you for watching. Catch the rave. Share this video everywhere you can.